UCR's Department of Theater, Film, and Digital Production. In the spirit of Rupert and Jeanette Costo's founding relationship to our campus, we would like to respectfully acknowledge and recognize our responsibility to the original and current caretakers of this land, water, and air, the Cahuilla, Tabaque, Luiseño, and Serrano peoples, and all of their ancestors and descendants, past, present, and future. We are grateful to have the opportunity to live, work, and create on these beautiful homelands. Enjoy the show.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the second night of the 2025 New Works Festival. We're so happy to have you here. My name is Megan Tabaque. I'm a professor of playwriting, screenwriting, and acting here, and also the artistic director of the New Works Festival. What you'll be witnessing here tonight is a staged reading. Show of hands for folks who have been to a staged reading before. Oh my gosh, wow, an audience full of experts. We're so glad you're here. If this is your very first staged reading, what you'll see tonight is a play in progress. Over the past 10 weeks, our playwrights have been rehearsing with their creative teams in order to complete revisions, to change, rearrange, rewrite, and reimagine their brand new scripts with actors for the very first time. The developmental stage of a play can be months or even years long, and there are a lot of logistical and structural discoveries that have to be made before the play goes into full production. Therefore, you'll witness tonight our actors will be holding their scripts, which may contain line edits or scenes that they just received last week. In short, these stage readings are experiments in a laboratory. In fact, you are the very first audiences of these works. Your presence here tonight is the last ingredient in this grand experiment, so thank you for being here. There are lots of people who put their time and energy and imagination into these plays that you won't see on stage tonight. That includes our design and dramaturgy students. If you're interested in seeing the work that is both visual and imaginative that those students have created to support the plays you see on stage, you can access the QR code here on the second page of your program. It's a really lovely digital supplement. A special thanks to our production team, Ben Tusher, Johnny Macias, Sarah Schottmeyer, to DFDP Season Artistic Director, Dr. Donatella Galela, and to our Professor of Design, Christopher Murillo, who's over here. Thanks, Christopher. Round of applause for everybody that contributed. Okay, now some housekeeping. Please take this moment to silence, or even better, turn off your cell phones. Please no talking or texting during the performance out of respect for our performers' focus. Thank you. In the case of emergency, you'll find an emergency exit at the end of the aisle which you entered, and also at the end of this aisle if you need it. The runtime of tonight's show is approximately 90 minutes with no intermission, and after our show this evening, we'll take a brief 5-minute recess and then reconvene here with our entire creative team on stage to engage in a talk back with them about the play. Thank you so much. Without further ado, enjoy the show.
The Color Out of Space by Justvig. Anna, the town reverend and friend of Nahum and the gardeners, 30s.
Nahum, an old farmer in Arkham, world-weary, has many doubts, 50s.
Nabi, short for Abigail, Nahum 40s, world wife, a woman of the world.
Thaddeus, the eldest son, aimless and critical of tradition, 20s.
Marina, the middle child and only daughter, pious, curious, 15-ish.
In darkness.
Shh, it's okay, Zenas. You're safe. You're safe. What troubles you tonight? A terrible dream? Here's the good thing about dreams. They're merely that, dreams, visions in the night. My sweet boy, dry your tears. Nothing will harm you while I am here. And if I'm gone, then your father will be there to protect you. Now go back to sleep, Zenas. Go back to sleep. Here I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take.
The sound of a loud trumpet fills the air, and with the trumpet comes a mighty crash! What about?
Mayhem!
Thad, go out and check what that was.
Yes, Father.
Are you all right, Rowena? You're shaking.
Oh, I'll be fine. I'm simply startled, is all. Are you sure, child? You look rather pale. Please, Mother, I'm all right.
Zenas? Where are you?
Zenas! He's still asleep, dear. I let him sleep a while longer.
Another nightmare?
Yes,
And you prayed with him?
just as you asked, dear.
Good, good. Best to go wake him up.
Is that necessary?
There's a big rock outside our house. Fell from the sky.
Be serious.
I am serious. You can still see where in the sky it fell from. A big white trail in the sky, the air all hazy. Come and see.
Well, I suppose I'll have to check for myself then. Nabby, if you'll watch over Rowena for a moment.
I will, dear. You don't have to. I'm fine leaving by myself. Rowena, stay until your father.
I said I'm fine.
That is no tone to take with your mother.
Sorry.
Is something the matter? I can go to school by myself. We don't know what's happened. Stay inside until you
I have to get to school. It's the last day, and Mr. Jones says we have an exam. I can't be late.
So it is. I had forgotten. Let me walk you down to school.
I would rather you not take me to school.
And why not? I'm your mother.
Because the other kids make fun of me. Ever since you stopped coming to sermon, they call me wicked.
Well, what an awful thing for them to do. And how long has this been going on?
A month.
Well, you can't leave by yourself today. How about I take you most of the way?
I'm leaving. Bye, Mother. It's open.
God bless you this beautiful morning, Abigail.
Tommy, it is good to see you. And I must have told you 1,000 times, please call me Natalie. You are a friend.
Ah, I know. I simply like to remind you of the great name your parents gifted you, as I fear Natty may forget it from time to time.
Very funny, Ami. Come in, take a seat. Would you care for a sandwich?
I would never say no to one of your sandwiches. Is Marina all right?
Oh, she's just fine. I suppose I may have upset her slightly by offering to take her to school.
Nah. I remember when I was a lad. When I was younger than her, I demanded independence from my parents, that they allowed me to do what I wanted to do and go where I wanted to go. We were still living in Massachusetts at the time. The big city was such a fun place to explore, though it was rather dangerous at night with all the drunkards about.
And did they grant you that independence?
Yeah, we moved to Arkham within the year, and ever since then, I go where I want, whenever I want.
And they did not worry for you.
If they ever did, I never saw or heard about it from them.
Well, you don't have children of your own yet. You don't know what it's like to worry about them all the time and wonder if they're okay.
True. But the new style of parenting is to let them go into their independence. How else are they supposed to learn about the world?
It's the new way, eh? Well, some of the new ways of thinking also claims that human came from apes and the Bible's nothing more than a story.
Ah, evolution. Well, I dare say Darwin's theory may prove to be a tall tale as we examine it.
What if evolution turns out to be unequivocally true and our faith is for naught?
And why should that discount our faith? Why can't two ideals coexist?
First it's a tall tale, and now it does nothing in the pursuit of knowledge of God?
I've learned not to worry too much about the details. I am a simple man of God, and I try to worry about myself before worrying about other people's faith.
You are a faithful man, Ami.
I digress. I did not come here to debate the sciences. Where is Nahum, by the way? He hasn't started work yet, has he?
No, there's this great big rock in the sky, outside our house. Thaddeus says it's a meteor from the sky.
What? That's amazing.
If it's true, this will not be the first time that boy has been prone to exaggeration.
So I've heard.
Do you have business with my husband? I can fetch him for you.
I just came to see how everyone was doing.
That's very kind of you, Ami, though I can't not help but feel there's some hidden meaning behind that.
Well, truth be told, I am here today to wear the hat, the Reverend, and as a friend.
Here we go.
And I thought it best to check up on the thing.
And And here I thought you came to see us because you were magnanimous.
I came to see you because you are my friends, all of you, including little Zenas. Speaking of, has he been off to school yet?
He had a nightmare last night. I'm letting him rest a bit longer.
And how about you, Nabby? How have you been? It's been quite some time since I've seen you at church.
Oh, there, Ami.
Nahum, God bless you this beautiful morning.
And to you as well.
A meteor fell from the sky and nearly hit our house.
As crazy as it sounds, it must be the case. We heard this great crash this morning during breakfast. Thad and I have been looking at it.
It's as big as a horse.
Perhaps even bigger. This great plume of white smoke in the air behind it in the sky. It is a genuine meteor.
Well, where is this? I must see this rock for myself.
It's out in the yard.
I'll show you.
I'm surprised to see the Reverend come by this early in the morning.
He's here on official business.
Ah, then perhaps this is your sign.
We
Perhaps
talked about this, dear.
you cannot push this off forever.
I can't believe it. A rock from the heavens right in your land.
Ah, that reminds me. Nabby, dear, I can't find my trowel in the shed. Do you know where it went?
I believe you can find it in Zenas' room. He was playing around with it on the path yesterday.
I just can't get it out of my head. This hazy streak from the sky leading right to your house. It's as if God himself were drawing a path on a heavenly map right to the Gardner residence.
It nearly hit our house.
Ah, right. Of course not. But it didn't, and that's what matters.
It's incredible. We thought it might be hot because the air all around it is hazy, like you would see on a hot day after rain. But when Father touched it, he said it was ice cold.
Ice cold. What a curious rock.
He didn't hurt himself?
He says he's fine.
And why on earth is he going for his trowel? If it's as big as a horse, he wouldn't need a shovel or two to dig it out, would he?
No, not to dig the rock out. The rock itself is very soft.
Soft, you say?
Well, that can't be. If it's as soft as a trowel needed, then it's as soft as clay. And if it came from the heavens, then it must be like diamond.
It's soft. You can scoop some of it away with your fingers even. Look, you can even see some of it under my fingernails.
Ah, what a queer stone we have here.
We want to dig down into it. There might be something valuable in there.
Enter Nahum with a trowel. I'll be back in a moment.
Dear, are you going to finish your breakfast?
Go ahead and clear it. I'm too excited to eat anything now.
Dad, will you help me?
But I want to go see about the... Yes, Mother.
Good boy, Thad.
Nabby and Thaddeus begin clearing away the table.
Allow me to.
Don't you dare. You are a guest.
Thank you.
Oh, so he got the pass.
Thaddeus, watch it.
I'm only teasing.
Apologize.
It's quite all right, Miss Gardner. The boys forgive me.
They finish clearing the plates.
May I go back outside to help Father?
Very well.
Thanks.
He's a fine young man. You've done a great job raising him.
A bit rowdy at times.
What young man isn't? Never did answer my question, though.
Pardon?
Though I'm mostly here as a friend, calling on his neighbors, I am here as the Reverend and as a friend to inquire why you've been absent from my sermon for over a month now.
Yes.
Is everything all right at home? I can arrange for transportation if you need a way to
I've
get
lost my faith.
there. What?
I've lost my faith. Or perhaps I should say I no longer believe.
That's, what an awful thing to hear.
I suppose you would think it is.
Did something happen?
Nothing happened, no. I got older.
I think age is irrelevant to faith, Mr. Gardner. The previous Reverend, before he passed, lived to be 86.
You misunderstand. I've matured. I've grown out of the faith.
I'm afraid I still don't understand.
Well, I suppose it's been happening for some time now. Though I once considered myself a very religious person, I've found myself growing farther and farther away from my faith. I simply do not feel the pull of God anymore. Don't misunderstand me. I have been keeping the commandments. I've been doing what I ought to as the Bible teaches us. I simply feel I no longer need the church right now.
Everyone needs God, Miss Gardner, especially those who think they do not.
Maybe, but this world feels like it's changing, Ami. We're about to enter a new century in a few years' time. When I read from the Bible about these wars and kings and knights and prophets, I feel it is not the same world we live in. I read in the paper just a few months ago about these men who have created a horseless carriage that you can drive using a special chemical formula. I've even heard tell of brothers who are designing a machine to make them fly.
This is simply a new world ordained by God. Adam and Eve used to live in the garden with God and were kicked out to wander this world. If the world seems different to you now, you must think of it as less of a sign that God isn't there and more of a sign that God is preparing the earth for John's revelation.
I understand, Ami. I really do, and I admire your faith. But I simply cannot believe when the world we are entering is so different from the one I grew up with, the one from when I was a girl.
You must come back to the church. I can prepare a special message for you, perhaps some special one-on-one visits for some lessons, necessary studies and teachings, and clear up any misunderstandings you may have.
I have read the Bible several times, Reverend. I do not need guidance on its teachings. I would like some time away.
God does not take trips away off to the countryside from his children. Why would you take time away from him who created you?
My presence would do nothing to persuade the way my mind has changed over the last year.
Something must have happened to drive you away.
Nothing happened. The only thing that's changed is me.
And Nahum, your children?
I've told Nahum he will continue to take the children every Sunday.
I cannot believe a righteous man like him would just leave it at that.
I will not let others dissuade me as to what my mind and my heart have settled themselves upon.
Very well. I can tell that you've made your mind. I'll be praying for you and your family. So, Nahum, have you struck gold with your little space rock?
Not gold exactly, no. I'm not sure what I found.
There's something in the center of the meteor.
A curious little thing. Thaddeus called it a globule. A very curious color. Very bright, but I could not say what hue it is.
And there are these things, this rock, rings in the rock as well, like you see when you cut down an old tree.
Frankly, I'm unsure of what to do with the blasted thing.
Do you need your help ridding yourself of it?
Oh no, don't do that.
Nabby dear, I can't just keep a space rock in the yard. Damn thing nearly crashed into the house.
I think we should bring the newspapers down here.
Absolutely not.
It might not be a bad idea.
No, I will not have the press down here making a fuss of things. I have work to do and do not have the time to entertain gossip and rumors.
But this is big. Maybe they'll even give us money.
Last year was a rough season. We could use the income.
Absolutely not. I am putting my foot down on the matter.
I can be to the local newspaper by noon. Just fetch me someone. Rumors will spread with or without the newspapers.
I said no.
Fine. Waste the opportunity of a lifetime.
Oh, you're to lecture me on wasting opportunities, are you, boy? And tell me, have you found a job yet? A wife?
I'm working on it.
Clearly not. You'd have a family of your own by now, rather than trying to tell me how to do things in my house.
And I would have found a wife by now had I not been given the work of 10 men every week.
The work of one man feels like 10 when you take every opportunity to slack off and read those damn books of yours.
And you wouldn't be so opposed to them if you would stop being a stubborn old ass!
You little!
Oh, let's just calm down now. There is no need to fight like this.
You better apologize, boy, and never take that tone of voice with me ever again if you still want to live under my roof.
Nahum, please.
Perhaps you go and talk with Thaddeus about his behavior.
An excellent idea.
What a damn brat he turned out to be.
He's rowdy, sure.
That boy wastes his life away, watching everyone pass him by. Every single one of his classmates has children now, you know that? And all he can stand to do is climb a tree and read those books of his.
Books are a wonderful pastime. They're a great tool for learning about the world and people.
And he still doesn't know how to act around his own father.
Fool that he is, he just wanted to help with the meteorite.
I'm not having the press down here. I put my foot down as master of the house, and this is how he treats me, my own son. He needs to learn respect.
Why do you not want the newspapers down here, if I may ask?
They're a bunch of gossips and liars, a lot of them. They take any little thing about a person and weave this whole story on them with no care at all if it's true. All they want to do is sell newspapers.
But a large meteor nearly hitting your house is a big story.
And I don't need no one coming down here to gawk and sneak onto my property for a look at the thing. This is a private affair.
I don't think I'd call a meteor from the sky a private affair.
It is when it lands on my property.
It could make you famous. You'd probably sell your harvest in no time flat. Maybe a 5% charge for being grown on space land. Play your cards right and you can make a pretty penny off of it.
I don't want the attention on me.
And what's wrong with a little attention?
It's not the attention, really. It's, how do I put this? Did you hear about old Eli Keller back last Christmas?
Who hasn't?
That's
Old-
exactly the problem.
Old bastard went crazy and strangled his family, even the dog.
That's exactly the problem. Who hasn't heard what happened? Eli was always an odd bird, had nightmares constantly throughout his life. But he was a good man before the end. Never drank, worked hard, put his eldest through law school. He was a good man until that dreadful day.
And don't excuse what he did.
And I'm not saying it does, but just one bad day, one where you've lost yourself fully and don't know what you're doing, get to override a lifetime of goodness. I don't want to be known as the space rock farmer down in Old Arkham. I don't want city folk or nothing coming down here to ogle at my land.
It's a queer thing to happen. People are just curious, that's all.
News goes fast nowadays. I could have a whole city trying to look at this thing.
News goes fast, but leaves faster. Take it from a younger man. People will find things to talk about, and your little space rock will be nothing more than a footnote in the gardener's history.
Even so, I will not allow any reporters down here. That's my final word on the matter.
Very well. So then, what are you going to do with the rock? Seems like a right shame to get rid of it altogether.
I can't just have it sitting out there.
And you're quite sure about no newspapers.
Very.
All right. How about a middle ground then? I have a friend studying up at the university in the city, Miss Katonic. He's working to become a scientist. How about we let them know about your little heavenly rock, and I'm sure they would jump at the chance to take it with them and study it. Might even pay you to take it back with them.
Can't have scientists and whatnot running around my house. I have work to do.
You have Thaddeus and Zenas. School is out this week, which means Marina and Abby can help play host while you get all your work done. And know that as you may have it, I would be glad to help you. Does that sound better than bringing the newspapers down here?
Yes, it does.
Excellent. I'll write my friend immediately. I've got a good feeling about this.
Woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain of Shamrai.
I beg your pardon.
Just thinking is all.
That's from Amos, I believe.
Yes.
And you feel that I'm at ease.
I don't like this, Ami. I want to keep a quiet life for my family.
And so it will become once more when that meteor's off your land. I'll be back soon.
Scene 2, the Gardner house. Some weeks later. Thaddeus is in the living room. Knock at the door.
Morning, Thad.
Good morning, Ami.
I looked around outside and I didn't see the meteor or the professors from the university. Have they taken it away already?
You just missed it then. They left 30 minutes ago.
Ah, what a shame. And the meteor?
Well, that's a whole different story.
What do you mean? What happened?
The meteor disappeared.
What?
I swear it's the truth. We all watched it. The professors and scientists have been coming down here all week to study it. When they tried to scrape off a sample for study, it disappeared before our very eyes, melted into this hazy, colored air.
What kind of rock just disappears in the sun like that?
Not even the professors had an answer for that. Though they were greatly excited at the prospect, it disappeared last night during the thunderstorm.
Was it not covered properly?
It was. I don't know what happened to it. You have to ask fathers for details.
Out working, I imagine.
That's right. We have to make sure we have a good harvest this year. We lost our crops last season.
I recall. You never found out what caused it.
Who ruined them?
Come on now, Thad. There's never been any evidence that
You're
anyone...
from the city. You don't know what it's like out here.
Oh. Enlighten me.
We are the only farmers in this whole area who sell our crops to get them across the country. We've been very well off because of it. And that seems to irk the other farmers out here.
They're just jealous. That's all.
They're not jealous. They see us as betraying the customs of this land we've sold out to the government. They see these lands as the last bastions of independence within the country. A lot of the families are farmers going back generations, back to Shays Rebellion.
I'm very familiar with Shays.
That's right. You're from Massachusetts. Well, a lot of them were supporters then. After the end of the rebellion and the government changed, several families came out here to get away from any further interference from the government.
And so they are extremely set in their ways.
Ever since father started selling his crops when he took over from our grandparents, the traditional families turned their nose at us. They see us as traitors.
I've taught the word of God to these men and women for over a year now. I don't think any of them would destroy your crops.
I'm disappointed, Reverend Pierce. I thought you said you were familiar with Shays Rebellion.
Do you think, perhaps, that this alienation might be contributing to your mother not attending my sermons?
I don't know.
She's your mother, Thad. You haven't noticed anything?
No. Frankly, I don't care much to notice things like that. Ask father.
I will wait here until he returns from work then.
Suit yourself.
And Zenas is helping.
He sure is.
And what about you, Thad? Is there any reason why you're not working today?
I didn't work yesterday either.
Oh, great Sal. What could be more important than helping your father with his work while you have guests?
I may or may not have met a delightful young lady while I was out and about. May or may not have taken her to lunch.
And does this delightful young lady have a name?
I don't recall. Our mouths were too occupied to do much of
Your mother is going to sew your mouth shut if she finds out about such things.
And that's why she does not need to know.
Are you not worried about causing a scandal? It's not customary to court a young lady in such a way.
Never my concern with my parents, or the preacher, or my teachers, or whoever think of what I do in my spare time. A new century is upon us. Matchmakers and arrangements are a thing of the past. I will choose with whom I spend my time.
Your father won't like this, and frankly, neither do I.
Get used to it. Father's the one who's going on and on about finding a lady to start a family with.
I don't think he had this in mind.
You won't tell him, will you?
That he is. It's not.
Please, Mr. Pierce. This is the first woman I've met I feel I can relate to, and she's from the city. So we must treasure every moment we have.
As long as you are following God's commandments, then I will keep quiet about your little escapades.
Sure.
That didn't sound very convincing.
What do you want me to say? Make a blood oath right now. God as my witness. Brimstone preaching and all of that.
Dad, we must respect God's name.
Okay. It makes no difference to me.
It should.
Yet it does not. If you want me to swear by God, I will. If you want me to swear by the trees outside, I will. If you want me to swear by the remains of that meteor, I will. It's all the same to me.
Ah, there you are, Thad. Your father is looking for you.
Oh, what does he want now?
I imagine he's wondering why you're shirking your duties. You still have chickens to feed and a horse to bathe.
A bath? I bathed her yesterday's evening.
Well, she certainly looks all dirty today. So hop to it.
Yes, Mother.
I'm honestly a little shocked at how quickly he listens to you.
I heard that some people in his grade made fun of him for always listening to her and not Dad.
You can hush with that talk now. Sorry.
I think it's a good thing he respects you.
I wish he'd show his father some of that same respect, the way he just up and disappeared yesterday. Anyways, to what do we owe the pleasure of your company today?
I came to see how things were going with the men from the university and the meteor, but it appears I've missed it entirely.
Yes. You can ask Nahum for details. Apparently we had lightning strike and it caused a small fire.
Oh, what? No one was hurt, was they?
No, we're okay. Nothing on our property was burned except for the meteor.
Well, I'm glad to hear everything's okay then. a lightning strike could have turned into a tragedy. It's a miracle that you're all safe and sound.
That's what I said.
Oh, hush now with that talk.
You know I mean it, Miss Garden.
I'm aware. I already have an earful with this child around.
You should listen to Mr. Pierce.
Please, I'm only a neighbor trying to help.
You're a friend of our family. That's what Father says all the time, and you too, right, Mother?
Of course.
So, you should listen to what he has to say when it comes to matters of God.
Oh, hush you. Matters of God are between me and God only.
That is true. We cannot force faith upon others, Marina.
But Mr. Pierce...
Please, call me Ami.
Mr. Ami, the Bible says...
You do not need to lecture me on what's in the Bible, young lady. I've read it plenty.
Then you should know better!
Enough talk on that! Now you'll accuse me.
I sense this is not the first time you two have argued about this.
I just don't understand how anyone can lose their faith like that.
Doubts are a natural sight along the journey of faith.
This is not doubting, this is rejection of faith. It worries me.
And what do you have to be so worried about other people's faith for?
I could ask the same to you.
It's different for me as reverend. My job is to act in God's stead and make sure none of his flock strays. What man of you having 100 sheep, if he loses one of them, doth not let the 99 in the wilderness and go after the one which is lost until he finds it?
Luke 15, I understand then.
I'm surprised at your devotion. Usually children learn a little later in life to appreciate God's teachings.
I've gone to Sunday school for as long as I can remember, and Father tells me I should be reading the scriptures as much as possible.
And you've decided to do so?
It's what he told me to do. He's my father.
Yes, but have you decided for yourself that that is what you want to do?
I don't know what you mean.
We all must learn for ourselves where God is in our lives. We don't always have someone to point us towards.
But I have my family.
And look at your mother, who has fallen away. Would you follow her if she asked?
No, because Father still believes, and I go to church every Sunday with him,
And what of your father? What if he were to fall away too? Would you still make that effort? And what of your brother?
I'm not sure how much Thaddeus cares about church and God and the like.
Yes, I get that sense from him too.
Like yesterday when he ditched work to go out and be with a girl.
You know about that?
Of course I do. I'm a sister. Mother and father are too busy with the farm to notice what he does all the time.
I see. That boy is growing lost, I fear.
Mr. Ami, may I ask you something? As Reverend, I mean.
Go ahead.
Do you think this meteor is from God?
God created everything. It only stands to reason that this will be one of his creations as well. As unfamiliar with things outside of our planet as I am.
I mean to say, do you think God sent this meteor?
It's impossible to say.
So, I see.
Do you think this meteor is from God?
I hope it isn't.
There's nothing to be frightened of, my child. The rock did not harm your house, save for a small crater that is easily to fix. As if it was never there.
Things have been strange in the last while. It's as if a room has gone completely askew. Thaddeus, for example, has been talking so much of this new world, and now he finds this girl from the city that he snuck away for a day with.
Do you agree with him?
No, at least not really. I don't think it's proper what he does, but times are changing, and all people can talk about at school is this new century that's approaching.
And with new times comes new customs, or so Thaddeus believes.
But with that meteor, it makes me nervous to think about such things.
Do tell.
The Bible warns us about the end of the world.
The meteor did not hit your house. God protected you.
Something's changed since the meteor landed. I woke up the other night from restless sleep and went to have some water, and as I drank, I saw strange lights outside our window. I thought perhaps someone was outside with a lantern, but I saw no one out there. The lights had no source. They shifted all around the house before disappearing completely. I wonder... it even.
Are you all right? I could go fetch the doctor.
I'll be fine. Don't worry. I was washing clothes in the basin. Wasn't paying attention. Caught some skin.
Okay, Father.
You don't need to... Well, what's done is done, I suppose.
Are you sure you'll be fine? It's no problem for me to get to the doctor.
I'll be fine. It's worse than it looks. It's only a nick.
I'm surprised at you, Miss Gardner. I did not take you for the type of person to be so careless like this.
Neither did I. Oh, you'll think me silly. I was washing clothes and looking around. You know how it is. And I was looking towards the well. I was thinking perhaps I should fetch more water for washing the clothes when I became distracted. I was looking towards the well, and I swear I could hear something coming out of the well.
Something like an animal of some kind.
No, nothing like that. It was more like this thick air was seeping out of the well. It was some kind of haze. It gave off this interesting color.
Huh.
And something about it entranced me.
Huh. Sometimes I find myself staring off into nothing, focused on things whilst doing something else.
It wasn't like that. It was as if the well was speaking to me, singing to me, like this lazy wash of air and color were comforting me.
That is peculiar.
It is, isn't it? I just felt so comforted by this sight somehow that I completely lost track of what I was doing.
Well, I'm glad it was only a small cut. Could have been much worse.
Will you do me a favor?
Of course.
Will you go find Marina and tell her to finish washing the clothes? There's only 2 garments left.
I'll finish washing them myself.
Oh, please, Ami, there's no need for that.
It'll be faster, as I have not the faintest idea where she's went off to find it.
It's really too much.
It's the least I can do. It'll only be a few minutes.
Bless you. This beautiful sight. What colors are revealed to me?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. What'd you say?
Did I say something?
I thought I heard you. Never mind.
I got him. Are you all right?
As I tried to tell our daughter, I'm perfectly fine. It's just a scratch.
But you're not fine. You're...
Marina, go and finish the laundry, and so does Ami doesn't have to.
Make sure to help her, Father.
My child, I swear.
She reminds me of you when we met. Curious, strong, pious.
Not now, Nahum.
It's never now, is it?
If you'll excuse me.
So, Nahum. Came to see my friend from the Muscatonic University, and I've come to find that the meteor is not here. What on earth happened in the week since I've been gone?
A very queer thing that was. You know about the storm last night.
Kept me and my wife up all night.
The same here. Nabi and I were in bed reading while the storm outside raged on. We heard thunder in the distance, but none of it was too close to our house. Out of nowhere, the wind picked up and several bolts of lightning started striking close to my property. I opened the window to see if anything was hit, if there were any fires. And right before my eyes came this blinding flash of lightning so white as to wash out everything in my view. The thunderstorm was deafening, as if the hosts of heaven themselves were shouting this great war cry. It struck! The meteor ripped clean through the tarp, caught fire and melted away. These strange things almost looked like the seeds of a dandelion were caught in the wind and rain and washed away. The globule at the center of the rock shattered. I could hear the shatter from our bedroom on the 2nd floor. It looks as if this burst of colorful air escaped and disappeared into the storm.
A burst of colorful air from a rock.
It all happened so fast.
What queer times we live in, to have a solid rock catch flame and melt into the earth like that.
Queer times indeed.
Is something the matter?
I honestly don't know what to do about her. Nabi, she's changed.
Lost her faith, as she's put it.
This is more than that. It's as if she's a totally different person than the one I married.
You've been married for a long time now. I've had several kids. People are naturally going to change.
But to lose their faith,
I wish I could stay why.
no one wishes that more than me.
Thaddeus mentioned something interesting to me. He thinks that perhaps the other farmers here might not be very fond of your family.
You'd be right to think that.
You've not been harassed, have you? I could put in a word with anyone. It wouldn't be much of trouble.
Don't worry yourself, it's nothing like that. They just disagree with my business and keep to themselves. Not much for exchanging pleasantries with me.
Do you think that this could have contributed to your wife's situation? I've heard that Marina and Zenas have been teased at school as well.
Zenas knows how to stand up for himself.
And Marina?
Why do you care so much? You've been visiting us a lot more lately. Why?
I'm your pastor, sure. But I'm also your friend, Nathan. And I want to make sure that you are all okay. And I want to bring Abigail back into the fold. I want to ensure that God is with you always.
That's mighty kind of you.
You know your wife better than anyone. How can we bring her back to the church?
I'll tell you what. When these crops are ripe, I'm planning on having a little dinner. Why don't you come on down and give us a lesson after that?
Very well. I will return.
A crashing sound is heard from outside.
What the devil? Zenas, be careful with that! We now have a broken wagon. As much as I hate to ask.
No need. I'll be happy to help.
But are you really okay? Mr. Jones says that wounds can get infected and the basin is rather dirty.
Who is the mother and who is the daughter here? I will be fine.
But the doctor won't be back in town for months, and if something were to happen...
Nothing will happen.
And then the way you dismiss Mr. Ami for trying to minister to you...
I don't need ministrations right now.
I'm sure that the people in Sodom and Gomorrah thought much of the same before fire was rained down upon them.
Fire isn't going to rain down upon us.
Is something the matter? Maybe the meteor was a warning. Maybe it's a sign that God isn't happy with us.
No, that's just silly. Those scientists said that there are rocks in outer space flying around Mercury and Venus and Mars.
You say you're not going to church anymore, then Zenas starts getting those nightmares, and then the meteor.
You're looking for something that isn't there.
Maybe it's a warning from God.
Hush now.
What else could it be?
Is this about those kids teasing you in school? What awful things are they putting in your head?
This isn't about that. I mean, they do tease Zenas and I a lot, but they've always done that since before. But with everything that's happened now, I fear that something bad may yet come to pass.
You shouldn't worry about things like that. The meteor is gone and we can all go back to how things were before.
If that were true, you'd come back to church with us.
Marlena.
Please, just come back with us. I'll pray with you, read with you, help you around the house, anything.
No more talk on God or the meteor. Go fetch some water. We are thirsty.
Scene 3. Gardener Farm, weeks later. Nabi and Rowena are preparing a table, getting ready for a feast. Nahum and Thaddeus are moving back and forth between rooms.
Oh there, Nabby, Marina.
Afternoon.
Hello, Ami.
I'm glad you could make it for dinner.
Good afternoon, Ami.
And yourself?
How many bags each, Dad?
13.
Excellent. Set aside 2 each for us.
Where is Zenas? I don't see him anywhere.
He's come down with a fever, poor boy. He's up in his room.
It's been a while since I've seen him. I hear he's grown quick.
You could say that. Twice this year he's outgrown the clothes I've made for him.
Ami, do you want to help me carry some water in from outside?
I'll help you.
You will. Well, I'm not sure you can lift a bucket by yourself.
She carried in these ones by herself.
Ah, you showed me then. Come on.
Hello, Mr. Pierce.
Oh,
Did you hear about our crops?
I've heard it was a good harvest.
Extraordinarily good. Most of these fruits and vegetables are twice as big as they are in a given harvest.
Really? How on earth did Nahum manage such a thing?
I wish we knew.
In the last month or two, they started growing to these massive shapes. We had to keep drawing extra water from the well with how big they were getting.
I can't wait to try. So, I hear Zenas is sick with a fever. Do you know the cause?
We aren't sure. He was out all day on Saturday with Thaddeus, exploring the woods,
Climb trees, went swimming in the creeks, picked berries.
hunted squirrels.
Just the one. It was already dying from exhaustion. By the looks of it, and had this strange leg. It looked like something very heavy had fallen on it. So we killed it and brought it home with us.
Perhaps he is suffering from exhaustion, with how busy that boy's been since the meteor, right?
You know, I've been thinking about it. I bet it's that meteor that caused all the crops to grow so big.
The meteorite? What could that have possibly done?
I'm unsure. Perhaps it enriched the soil somehow, the way it dissolved. And it disappeared during that storm, too. Could have soaked into the ground for the crops, you know?
And what does Nahum think?
Father's skeptical, but he can't think of anything else that would have caused it. Whatever it was, I'm certainly not complaining with this harvest.
Well, I thank God that you've had such a bountiful harvest.
God had less to do with this than that meteor did.
Perhaps it was sent by God.
It damn near knocked the house down.
But
God would send that.
But it didn't, and that's what counts.
Oh, God, more talk about religion. Will you please stop? I'd rather carry in the rest of the crops we haven't harvested yet.
Oh, now that's funny. Who was belly aching about lifting so many of these bags of crops this morning?
That was before you decided to go off about God again.
There's a difference now, is there?
Sure is.
Sure ain't. Use your head, Thad.
Enter Nahum and Rowena carrying Fig.
More buckets. Water. Now be a dear and help your sister.
Okay, Mother.
I swear, I don't even understand my own children sometimes.
He's at that age, a restless young man.
No, it's not that. He ain't restless in any sense of the word. Seems happy to just let life go by. Doesn't care about much.
Besides the family. Besides you.
Sure don't act like it sometimes.
He'll grow out of it.
At his age?
Well, tell him to start thinking about starting a family of his own. Surely he must have his eye on someone.
If he does, he hasn't told me.
Abby splashes her face with water. They continue setting the table.
This all feels very nostalgic to me somehow.
Nostalgic? You're younger than me and don't even have kids. What could you possibly be nostalgic for?
I think back to my own family when I was a child. How my own mother and father used to worry about our futures.
When you were a child?
Yes. It may not seem like I was ever a child today, but back then I was very rambunctious. Always skipping church to go and swim in the creek, hunting bees and climbing trees and exploring the fields like Zenas and Thad.
When you were a child?
Yes. When I was a child. Much like young Zenas.
But that's not you, that's Zenas. He's my son, you know.
Mom, Dad needs you in the kitchen. Something wrong, Mr. Rami?
No, nothing's wrong. Just thinking about things.
Like what?
Like all the queer things that have been happening. The meteor, the crops, the lights you mentioned. And I've been hearing some queer things. It's all very strange to me. Is something on your mind, Rowena?
Mr. Ami, do you think God is punishing us?
Oh. Well, what do you mean?
With the meteor. A boy in my class, Isaiah, he teases Zenas and I all the time, and all anyone can talk about is the rock from space. Isaiah said that the meteor is God trying to smite us all, and that he's starting with our family.
What an awful thing to say.
I thought so too, but I can't help but wonder if...
You wonder if perhaps there may be some truth to his words? Well, here's the way I see it. Jesus says that there are two great commandments, yes? Love God and love thy neighbor. Tell me, miss, have you been loving God?
I read the Bible every day and go to Sunday school.
Yes, and it is a joy to see you there. Been saying prayers like we talked about?
Every night before bed. Sometimes I forget, though, or can't think of anything to say. Sorry.
No need to apologize. Now, have you been loving your neighbor?
I've been trying. People like Isaiah make it difficult to love thy neighbor.
Well, I suppose we can make an exception for him.
We can?
Just this once. Now, if you've been loving God and your neighbor, like we've been asked, then I don't see any reason why God would want to punish you or strike down your family. I've known your father for several years. He is a good man, a God-fearing man. He'll keep you safe.
What if he's scared too?
Nahum, scared?
Ever since the meteor fell, he complains of the things happening all around. Reading the news, he says that he is sometimes frightened of what the world is coming to.
He's right to say so, I think.
So how can he be brave if he's scared too? How can I...
Being brave does not mean that you aren't frightened. Yes, the world can be a scary place sometimes, The turn of the century is upon us. Time's always marching on. But we face it no matter how scared we feel. Your father is still getting up early to tend to the morning chores and animals and crops, does he not?
He does.
Then follow his example. Your father gets up every day, goes about his work as usual, because despite how the world changes, you still need to get up and do something. I think it's his own way of being brave.
Being brave.
Do you think you can follow his example? Be brave like your father?
Okay, yeah. Be brave, like father.
And don't pay those people any mind, Isaiah and them. God is not smiting your family.
Take your seat and we'll dig right in. Everything has been washed, and I figured before we make a meal, we should sample some of the food and see what the best this year is.
Do we have a knife big enough to cut these?
Nahum pulls out a large meat cleaver.
Biggest and sharpest one we have.
Well, let's get it then.
Can I help?
Sure, Thaddeus, help Marina with the food.
These things are as hard as a rock. Mom, how are we gonna make dinner proper with this? We couldn't fit more than 2 of these in our pot.
Pot, eh? Well, since you're offering, but I'm going to need privacy.
Nahum. Is life feeling okay?
Sure she is.
Has she been acting strange recently?
No more than what a wife normally does.
Nahum.
You know how it is. What are you asking me?
I'm asking if Nadia has been acting strange recently. Ever since she's been inside, she's been saying some queer things.
How do you mean?
Well, first she's been saying that she's
All right, let's tuck in. What the hell was that?
That tasted awful. Born alive, what a rank taste.
I've never tasted such a bitter fruit before. Oh, damn. Oh, the taste ain't washing away.
Look at the food, it's turning gray.
What trickery is this?
It's no trick. I see it too.
What happened to our harvest?
Maybe it's not the whole harvest. Maybe we just got a bad batch here.
But from all of these different kinds of crops, and we just happen to choose the ones that taste bad.
That damned meteor, I knew it was trouble. It's poisoned my land.
Come on, Nahum, be reasonable. How could a rock poison your land?
It wasn't until the blasted thing came to my home that the crops started swelling. It's the only thing that makes sense.
It did start up around the time of that storm.
What on earth could have been in that rock to poison your land then?
Father?
You'd think I'd have any idea? I bet it was something to do with those academics. I knew they always looked shifty.
Those academics are my friends, Nahum. Stop with the accusations.
Father?
I knew we shouldn't have brought them down here, and I let you convince me. I told you when you insisted, and look what it's brought me. My entire harvest, wasted.
We don't even know what happened to your crops.
Father!
Look at Mom!
Go on, everyone. Eat up. You need to all be ready.
Ready for what?
For school, of course. I don't understand why my husband doesn't.
Nabby, dear.
But not dear Zenas, never dear Zenas. He must rest and rest, but school will wait for him. The orange wriggle teeth from under the water will do quite the number on Mr. Jones's old banjo. Pass the scissors, will you? You. You!
She lunges to Ami and tackles him to the ground. Nahum and Thaddeus spring into action, trying to pry Nabby off of Ami. Outside the window, the sun is setting. Colorful lights dance in encroaching darkness. Scene 4. Gardner Farm, the barn, weeks later, winter. Thaddeus is inside, cleaning a stall. Enter Ami, carrying feed.
Good afternoon, Thaddeus. Chicken's out in the yard.
Yeah, through there.
Ami walks to the back and throws feed out the door.
I'm surprised Father's letting you help.
He doesn't know I'm here. I can't just sit at home and do nothing, especially since your mother... And anyways, my wife said that I'm depressing her, sitting at home and worrying, so I snuck over here.
Thanks.
So, tell me, what do you need help with and I'll do it.
Feeding the animals will be plenty.
Okay. Heard some of the animals have been getting sick.
Where do you hear that?
Well, I don't mean to gossip now, but people are saying that the McGregors found a sick bird on your property.
Hunting?
Yep.
Damn kids know they're not supposed to hunt on properties that aren't theirs.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Nothing. You just sound like your father.
I'm nothing like him. Besides, I ain't seen no sick birds. Rumors are rumors.
So they are. Your animal's okay then?
Sure. Well, not all of them.
What happened?
Can you keep a secret? I can't let Butter know. I'm not with Mother. He doesn't need anything else happening right now.
Very well. I'll keep it a secret.
Come over here.
They go to one of the stalls. Thaddeus opens the door. Whatever is behind there revolts Ami.
God above, what is that?
You don't recognize her?
Dad, that barely looks like an animal.
It's a horse.
Yours?
Yes.
You need to put her down.
No.
Dad.
I've been taking care of her. Just made some stitches before you got here.
Stitches. Its skin is melting.
I want cure.
You're a damn fool. Can't you see she's sick?
Any wound can be treated if you are willing to fight.
You may be willing, but she isn't.
You don't know that.
Neither do you.
I still gotta try.
No, you don't. She's sick and dying. Can't you recognize that?
I can't just leave her to die. She's been with our family for 15 years. I watched her being born. I can't kill her.
Every minute you delay putting her out of her misery, it's just another minute she's suffering beyond what any living creature should suffer.
I know she's hurting. I do, but I can help. I can stitch her up, give her medicine, anything.
You're trying to administer to something that is beyond any of us. Not even the most skilled doctor in the world could help her. There's no way of restoring rotting flesh to the bone. Use your eyes. Have some sense, man.
I can't!
You're a damn fool and a coward. You know your daddy would beat you if he knew what you were up to.
Don't you dare tell him.
Ami takes out a gun from his coat and offers it.
You know what you have to do. If you don't, Nahum will find out and just do it himself. Just because your mother is sick doesn't mean you can take out all your aggression on this poor animal.
Thaddeus smacks the gun away.
We think it best you leave.
Don't take your frustrations out on this sick horse. You know it's not right.
You are a wriggling little worm, baring its teeth. How about you take that self-righteous attitude and jump into the lake? Mommy, please help my dad. Something's wrong. I don't care if you never want to see me again, but please help my dad, please.
Scene 5, the Gardner home. Some weeks later, Ami and Nahum sit at a table, the latter drinking coffee.
Thank you for coming out today.
I'm glad to be here. It's been a couple of weeks. How is everything going with Nabby and the wife?
Swimming wings, falling eyes, watching tooth.
How's the family?
The kids are doing all right. Zenas doesn't understand what's happening, and that's for the better. Thaddeus is taking this the hardest.
I can understand that. He seemed close to her.
He is.
Any improvements?
Living skin, shrinking head.
No. She's getting real bad. I fear the worst may yet happen. I've removed everything from her room so she doesn't hurt herself. She just wanders along the walls now, shouting. Her skin is so pale. I can't bear to look at her anymore.
Is there anything I can do to help?
No.
He drops the cup and spills his coffee on the floor.
Damn it all.
Just let me help.
Leave it. It's fine.
Running hearts, tearing lung, shining color, shining color.
Nathan, you have to talk to me. You know you're not all right.
I don't understand what's happening anymore, Ami. I don't understand. I'm an outcast. You're the only one I see besides my own family. Nothing grows. Animals are dying on my land. They look hideous. They're changing shape. My own children go more and more distant each day. No one will talk to them at school. I don't understand it. It feels as if life itself is being stolen away from me.
Naya, you cannot blame Navi's madness on yourself. These things happen to the best of people. Keep faith and God will provide.
What faith? What God could I possibly have faith in now? The animals, my crops, my Nabi? That's not God.
It is in our toughest moments that we must turn to God.
Would you, if this happened to your family, to your land, to your wife, would you still turn to God?
Let me go fetch you some more coffee.
Exit Ami into kitchen. Enter Thaddeus carrying buckets of water.
I think we're good on water, Thad.
We can never stock up too much. We can never have too much of it on hand.
Suppose so.
Ami enters the living room holding a cup of coffee.
I've been thinking, Naya. You blame the meteor for poisoning your land, right?
That's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, what if it runs deeper than the soil? What if it's poisoned the water as well?
The water from the well is a gift. You do well not to waste it.
Thaddeus, your mother splashed her face with water before dinner. After that, she started yelling and saying all these queer things that led to the breakdown. If the water's contaminated, it could be the reason why, possibly connected to the animals, too. Perhaps if we drilled a new well, got you some fresh and clean water,
We do
then
not
we can
listen
fix...
to you, hear that?
Thaddeus, that is no way to speak
And
to...
we do not listen to you, coward.
We?
You do not understand. You can never understand. The shifting and shining is granted us a gift. New shades and delightful hues to burn the eyes and sear the soul. This is the new way of life we must embrace. A new dawn approaches, and so we must drink up. Drink up!
He pours one of the buckets of water over his head.
But you will not drink. You cannot see it. You will suffer for it. You are not wanted here.
Exit Thaddeus upstairs.
Becoming beasts! Hearing beams!
Sleeping grin! Climbing pin!
First my dear Nabi, and now my eldest son. Oh God, what do I do?
We should put them in separate rooms, in the attic.
Yes, I suppose that's right.
What will you tell Marina and Zena?
Please, Ami, not now. Scene 6, the attic. Rowena is outside a door. Nabi is on the other side.
Mom? Can you hear me in there? It's been weeks since you've said anything at all. I hated hearing you shout those strange and awful things, but at least you were talking. I wish I could do something. I wish I could help you more. If I had helped around the house more, I wonder if perhaps I had tried harder to get you back to church. I just wish you'd come back to us. Please, come back. Zenas is scared. He doesn't understand what's happening, and the doctor can't be back in town for weeks, and with you and Thaddeus now gone, I don't know what to do. I tried to take care of the house, but it just grows more and more unkept by the day, and Father doesn't know what to do. I don't know what's happening to us, and I'm so scared because of it. I want God to come down and cure you like he healed the blind and the dumb, and how he brought people back to life. Are you even alive anymore? You don't breathe, and yet you walk. Your skin is colorless. Are you? Are you even my mother anymore? God, please. Please.
The Gardner farm. Some weeks later. The house is beginning to go into a state of disrepair. Chores have been neglected.
It is dirty. Nahum sits in front of the fireplace.
I brought some food with me from home. I figure since Nabby is indisposed. Nahum, what's wrong?
Thaddeus is dead.
Lord Almighty,
He got sick. So sick. Wouldn't eat any food, only drank water by the buckets. He kept saying that God was coming and to prepare the way and other mad nonsense. He must have broken out of his room last night, found where I kept the knives.
I thought he was sick.
He was, in body and mind. Something changed in him. He used the knife too. His body stretched unnaturally where he cut. His blood lacked color. His face, it was wrong. It wasn't that anymore.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Nahum, I think we need to drill you a new well.
You think so?
I think it's the water. It makes the most sense. If the water's contaminated, and Dad had been drinking so much of it, it can't be unrelated.
Might be, but I can't go out. I can't leave my family alone right now.
I'll bring someone over in the coming weeks.
You're a good friend, Ami. A good friend. Ami, what do you think is going to happen?
How do you mean?
To us. To the world, I suppose.
It'll all turn out all right.
I wish I could share in your optimism.
I wish I could give it to you.
I wish I could some of your faith, too, even before Nabby's illness. I found myself having such doubts about everything.
It's a natural part of faith to have doubts.
Sometimes I just can't reckon with it. When I was a lad, my father told me stories of how there weren't even trains when he was a boy. It took months to travel from one coast of the country to the other, and now it can be accomplished in less than a week. Industry has changed dramatically in just a few decades, and a new century is coming. Who knows what it'll bring? It's
amazing.
Terrifying. The world used to be so simple. It used to be so small. Things made sense. There was an order to everything. What you read in the Bible felt normal. It felt like life. But now the world is unrecognizable.
Perhaps Moses felt that way too, when being cast out of Egypt.
And Moses had a people to lead. He didn't have to worry about elections or harvest or rocks from outer space or the strange customs people are adopting as time goes on. He probably never once had to think about sending a message to the other side of the world.
What are you getting at?
The world is so much bigger than when I was a child. It seems as if new things are being found or created every day. I thought things were simple, had an order. I never had to consider the matters of such a large world, that there were so many people who have no concept of my beliefs and upbringings. I never considered that a rock from space could fall from the skies and ruin my life. I'm frightened of this new world, Ami. I'm frightened that I don't have a place in it.
Nahum, don't talk like that.
It makes me wonder if God is really there.
Of course he is.
Just listen, Ami. Something evil is in these hills now. That meteor brought something you can't see or feel. Maybe it's the devil. But at least the devil has the decency to try and goad you into doing wrong. This, however, it's different. Whatever that meteor brought ain't of this world. And if something like that can exist, makes me hope there isn't a God. Because what kind of God creates something like that?
Father Zenas fell out of the tree and he was climbing and he hurt his leg.
Oh, that boy will be the death of me. Where is he?
Down the path near the fork in the road.
Stay here a moment, Ami.
I can help with Zenas.
Stay here, just until I get back.
I understand.
My apologies, I didn't say hello to you.
It's quite all right. How are you doing today?
I don't know. Father told us Dad passed away. It doesn't seem real.
I hope you and Zenas are doing okay.
Zenas Zenas has been crying all morning. Mr. Jones let him have a desk to himself in the corner after school.
And you?
I don't feel anything, or rather, I can't feel anything. Why would this happen, Ami?
I have no idea. Sometimes tragedy strikes.
You said God wasn't punishing us.
And I still believe that. Sometimes we must face trials and tribulations like Job or Saul before he was Paul.
It's not fair.
Life isn't fair.
But isn't God supposed to be fair?
God is fair and just.
Then why doesn't he help us? Dad is dead, and Mother... I'm scared about what happened to Mother.
I wish I could tell you that everything will be all right, that we can fix this. Truth is, I have no clue. I wish I could just snap my fingers and make her better, but the mind is a delicate thing.
Isaiah was right.
Marina.
He was. Why else would it only be us? Why else would it only be our family? This is a punishment.
And why would God want to punish you, Marina?
I don't know, but we are being punished all the same.
You yourself has done nothing wrong to deserve divine punishment from God.
How can you believe such a thing?
How can you not?
Because we have no food, because my mother is gone and my brother is dead. You haven't had it easy in your life. You are from the city. You do not know our struggle and what it is like. For us, you are too simple in your mind to understand what other people are going through, even so far as to reject what you can plainly see all around you. You still have a family. You still have a life.
Let me speak frankly, Marina. Your mother had fallen away, lost her faith. She did not believe in God. If this is God's punishment for her, a lesson she needs to learn before she gets better, then so be it. And you know as well as I do that Thaddeus was straying away from the path, indulging in his base desires. Perhaps he wasn't being so truthful about what he did with that young lady, like he claimed. If they had gone any further, then you have nothing to fear. Keep faith, pray, study, fast. If you do these things, then surely your mother will recover.
I want you to leave.
We?
Take your righteousness and ignorance and give it to someone who will give a damn about what you, your God, does and doesn't do. We do not want it.
Watch your mouth, young lady.
Doesn't your book say to pluck the rod from your own eye before trying to get the mite from mine?
God teaches that if you are to use...
To hell with God! There is no power except red hues of torn skin and the pale eyes of a broken mind. How can you say that Thad deserved it? How can you...
Even devout Marina.
A crash sounds from upstairs. Ami makes to go upstairs and pauses. He leaves the house. Scene 8, outside the Gardner farm. Nighttime. A very short time after the previous scene. There is a well. Enter Marina holding a bucket.
Be brave like father. Be brave like father.
She steps to the edge of the well. Bright colors peer up at her from within. And Marina falls into the well.
Scene 9, the Gardner farm. Sometime later. It is cold and desolate.
Nahum, are you there? I haven't heard from you in a week. Nahum? Nahum, are you... Oh dear. What happened to you? Your legs? Were you attacked?
Firewood is what we need. We need more wood for the fireplace.
I can see that. It's freezing in here.
Quite cold, yes. Zenas, be a dear boy and fetch some more firewood. It'll soothe your old man's bones.
Is Zenas isn't here, Nate.
Cease with the whining now, lad, and fetch me some more firewood. Be a good son to your father, Zenas, and fetch me some more wood. Fetch. Like a dog.
You've gone mad.
Now, don't be a scrub, young man. That's no way to talk to your father. I'm older and must teach you how things are. No fighting, no arguing, or I shan't be giving you your supper. Be a good boy and fetch more wood for the father. And since you want to argue, I could use some water from the well as well.
Nahum, where is Zenas?
Zenas is with the well now.
Exit Ami. He goes outside and finds the well. There is a rope connected to a bucket deep within. He pulls the bucket up. Sitting on top are the skulls of 2 children.
Marina, poor Zenas.
Ami re-enters the house and goes upstairs. One of the doors has light coming from within. Ami opens it.
Oh God, Miss Gardner, what has happened to you? Miss Gardner, why are your legs like that? Why are they all contorted and broken? Where are your eyes, Miss Gardner?
He pulls out a gun from within his coat and enters the room. 2 gunshots. And silence.
What is it, Nahum? What is it?
Nothing and everything. The color, it burns. Cold and wet, but it burns all the same. It lived in the well. You never saw it because you were here in the day. It shone bright at night. Don't know what it wants. It seeded the land. The seeds grew. I saw it this week. You were right about the water. Zenas never came back from the water. You can't run. Can't get away. Something's coming, Tommy, but we can't do anything. Where's Nabby? That's no good. Can't remember when I fed her. Her face had that color at night. Came from somewhere where things aren't as they are here.
Nahum dies. Ami exits the house. From the well, colors shoot up into the sky, and Ami flees the site. Scene 10. What was the Gardner farm is now a ruin, devoid of all life.
Father in heaven, why am I the only one left? Out of a whole family of good people, why am I, their neighbor, spared in their place? I know death is no respecter of persons. I know that, yet something was out for this family. Was it a test? For me? For them? Did they fail? They didn't deserve it. Zenas was only 12 years old. Why would you take them? There's nothing left of them. Nothing but this blasted heath. It's already grown much larger than the house. Whatever wretched thing fell in this place, it's still here. It's spreading. Please just help me understand why. Why? If there is nothing, then in the twinkling of an eye, remove me from this wretched world. Are you even there, God? Are you even real? Just who have I been praying to?
A strange color begins to wash over him.
End of play.
Okay, Cindy's gonna come right out. I can feel it. Cindy!
Oh, I hear the scuffle.
I heard the door.
I think I hear the scuffle. Oh. We're gonna like chant
Any
that.
moment now.
We did that, yeah.
Okay, work out. Keep that round of applause going. One more big round of applause for another big round of applause for our playwright, Aaron Justvig. We're also joined by one of the lovely dramaturgs in our process, Gabby Chavez. Tremendous work researching and analyzing this play and Aaron's pursuit of this draft. So big ups for Emily. And then, and then me, I'm the director. So everyone's pulling double, triple duty in this process, as you can see. So Gabby is an actor and dramaturg for the piece tomorrow, but is going to lead a talkback for us tonight. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Megan. And also, I wanted to give major props because I don't think we would have so much extra material and so much organization without you. You've really spearheaded what this new Works Festival looks like. So thank you, Megan, for all of your work, for being But we're here to talk today about The Color Out of Space by Aaron Justvig and this adaptation that you've curated. So this comes from a short story by H.P. Lovecraft. So kind of the first to start us off, what inspired you to adapt the short story to the stage specifically? And were there any kind of challenges that you anticipated or didn't anticipate?
Yeah. So what inspired me to adapt this story in particular? These people know because I've said it a million times to them, but my mission as an artist and specifically as a playwright is to bring horror to the stage. I love horror. It's my favorite genre across all mediums, and there is a just disappointing lack of it on the stage for stage plays specifically. And I've always thought that was sort of a missed opportunity. So that's been my general purposes. I love horror. I love specifically the works of H.P. Lovecraft because they're such a unique and timeless sort of horror that deal a lot with existentialism and with our place in the universe, and it's always been so fascinating to me. And so I wanted to bring one of those works to the stage, and The Color Out of Space is one of his more well-known, one of his more famous books, one of his more famous short stories. And as for challenges for adapting it, anyone who's read H.P. Lovecraft in here will know that he is a very challenging author to adapt. His own personal early 20th century proclivities aside, he writes stories within stories within stories. When you read about what happened with the gardeners in The Color Out of Space, you're not reading it from the gardener's point of view. You're hearing it 50 years after the fact from a land developer from Boston who's come down to the countryside, and you're hearing a secondhand account from Ami, who's an old man now. You're hearing like tertiary accounts, and that's just for this work. It's all across his works. So the framework of like trying to just like adapt that, I tried that for my first draft, and it was awful. It didn't work. And so it was a matter of like just taking that core premise and like really going to town on adaptation, like making this something alive for the stage and not just the book on stage, because the book on stage is boring.
And I think you did a good job of inputting your own voice and what kind of themes I've witnessed you kind of implement into your writing. So even though this comes from the initial concept comes from H.P. Lovecraft, it does feel like an Aaron Justvig play. So yeah, congratulations. But so I wanted to channel Emily here. She's done so much work with this piece, and so I thought it was fitting to ask a question in her name. So her question was, what was the most horrifying moment or concept in the play? And I invite our lovely actors, our director, to also weigh in.
I think the most horrifying moment for me is when Ami finds the 2 skulls in the well. That was my stomach dropped when I read it the first time. I was like, oh.
Personally, for me, I think it was just most of the scenes involving Navi. I feel like, especially when I confront her for the first time, because the descriptions, they used to be a lot more vivid than what they were now.
Yep.
A lot.
I was basically
in a good way. In a good way. In a good way. I enjoyed them. But that was, especially in the first draft, that was probably the most in my face, oh, that's kind of crazy. So I didn't censor myself.
I wrote the first draft like we had a $10 million budget.
Yeah. I think we had a lot of mention of water and drinking and thirst and all those themes throughout, but actually seeing it at the end, being oh, it was the water, and then going back in the script and marking all those moments was really cool to see. Oh my God, it's been following us this entire time.
For me, there are a lot of moments where it is actually really scary, but I think the one that kind of is in my head right now is the animal's skin melting. That was one of the most scariest ones.
I think it was the scene between Nabi and Marina for me personally, where she's at the door with her talking. Because you can see Nabi trying to get a hold of herself again, but the color just takes over, and I think that's horrifying in itself.
Yeah, because the color isn't, it's, you know what it is, but you don't know what it is. And I think that these descriptions come from just, you want to picture it, and our mind's eye is far more visceral and horrifying than what we could actually see. And so Megan, what was it like to kind of take those moments and really let them shine? And you added physicality to this piece in a way to kind of use what we had to show what we couldn't see. So what was that process like?
Sure. Well, Erin and I worked together a lot. When you wrote the $10 million budget piece, I was like, okay, so imagine we're doing it now and we have $0. And part of that transition is let's remind ourselves how how theater is a medium for bodies and space, and how many opportunities can we create in the script for that horror to be mapped onto the body, or for us to map it onto the bodies in the dialogue, in the language. And in those early drafts, I was so drawn to also these passages, because H.P. Lovecraft has what's the language called that he created?
He created, H.P. Lovecraft created this sort of world that's sort of shared in cosmic horror, Cthulhu, Shadow over Innsmouth, etc. He created a specific language called the Relian language. It's hard for me to say because it's not meant to be spoken with the human tongue.
Yeah,
it's literally an impossible language to speak.
Right, and that's also where the horror kind of lived for me, in the voice and body. And so in the rewrites that Erin was exploring, we changed the Cthulhu language into language that was familiar, because those are the moments that are most horrifying for me, that I think I can map on to my actual life in a metaphorical way. It's when someone you know disappears internally. This happens with our elders. This happens when people are going through traumatic episodes, and when their Nabi's communicating in a way that doesn't land,
but is still in our shared language, but it doesn't hit us, and she's lost to the world. Like, those are the moments that I was really interested in terms of theatricality.
No, I think that was very clear, and we really, although it was like the physicality was there, the words were just as haunting as well. And going back to Emily's kind of her own response to that question, she was saying that the most like kind of horrifying thing to watch was this once close-knit family slowly falling apart, not because of the color, but mainly because of the societal expectations and the pressures of a rapidly changing era, which is another theme that you incorporated, just like what it looks like when everything starts to change around you and that fear of change. But yeah, kind of to put a little cherry on top here, for like throughout this process, which like we've been working, or you guys have been working on this piece from the start of the quarter, from the first read through till now, how did the collaborative process shape the work that we saw today? So you kind of started to like talk about that, but was there like kind of input from these guys and like seeing them like speak, and like what was your process?
Oh, absolutely. They know firsthand. They gave me a lot of feedback, especially in the early in the quarter when we were just doing like little table reads in a classroom in a building just across the way. A lot of our time was spent not just trying to like, you know, we're not trying to direct the piece that you saw tonight. We're trying to see like what's landing, what is easy to understand, what doesn't make sense. They gave me a lot of helpful feedback, especially in regards to Nabi and Marwena's characters. And I thank them eternally for that, because that turned out to be one of my favorite things to write throughout this piece. So it's a big process of not just hearing the work aloud from these actors, but actually getting their input as performers, as artists. Because, you know, I'm writing the words, but the words can't exist without someone to speak them.
Did you kind of notice that that what these lovely actors were kind of bringing to the table, like, influenced exactly like how you heard them in your head, the characters that you heard in your head?
I always have a vision of how I do it in my head, because I'm like, this is how I would do, you know, this character. I come from a performance background throughout high school and throughout my undergraduate. And so I hear it, and it's different from what I have, but I'm like, oh, that's exciting, because that's not what I had in mind, but what you have in mind is like so interesting to think about as well. From that standpoint, it was interesting then to be like, oh, what if I lean into this? What if I take our dear Ami's like incredibly deep voice and do like some really fun things with him as the preacher?
Now, this development process is like, it doesn't work without our incredible actors. They really put everything into this. So was there like any kind of moments where you guys like connected with your characters, or really like saw a different dimension to your characters?
Yeah, I think when I first got the role, it was like, oh, okay, I'm like the daughter, the middle child that everyone kind of forgets, and also as a result kind of forgotten throughout the script. And I thought, okay, so that's just my character. But because of this process being so welcoming to collaboration and figuring out how to better develop the story and the characters, we were able to talk through and be like, actually, there's more to this character. There's the relationships she has with her family, her values, and all that kind of stuff. So it's just been really cool to be a part of a process that's been so collaborative, and seeing all of you guys step into your roles and kind of be like, yeah, no, this is my character. I know better like what their motives are and everything. So it's been a rewarding process.
One of the things of the process that we did was we all wrote journal entries in our characters, which was a fantastic idea from Megan. And we kind of all read them, and it was a really good like view of our characters. And then we read the new draft, and we all kind of saw things that we had read in our characters that were like added to the new draft. And it was this really like moment of like, oh, this is kind of our thing, like it's his story, but like we have a like voice in like making these characters who they are,
which I'd never done before, and it was so exciting. Yeah.
100%. And like seeing like the growth of how the characters came to be, and somebody piggybacking off of this one here. Sorry. Piggybacking, it's like, you know, I think back to when we first started, and I was just like a guy who kind of was just chilling around. You know, I rocked with them heavy, but I was just like kind of there. And then I went to like, I was like sucking up to we had a different pastor originally. May he rest in peace, I guess. But sucked up to him. And then eventually, I guess, I got his job. I leveled up, you know? And it's the progressive watching of like how input from everyone made that happen. Because I feel like if it weren't for the, you know, people in the room, that probably wouldn't have happened. And I feel like there was a lot more that came about because of it, especially with like relationship between Marina and also like the one between Nabby, especially where it's like the struggle between the polar opposites and trying to be like the guy, I guess, the chill one, the cool uncle who's just there, but it's not the uncle. But it was very interesting and new process for me, especially. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I probably have more, but I don't know, they're gone now.
I'm blinking. Again, the things that you've said.
Very well spoken.
I think at first when I was reading the script, it was just a boy. And I think because of the character work that we get to do, I find him a lot more interesting, and there's a lot more between him and Ami, and it became something that was more complex, and it was very interesting for me.
Yeah, same here for Nabby. She was kind of just the mom at first when we did the first couple of drafts, but as we all collaborated together, she kind of grew into her own person. Like, you could see the sweetness in her at the beginning, but then her kind of clashing with Ami at times when their views collided, but she did care about everyone, and that was evident. So it was even more sad to see her decline as the process went on, yeah.
Especially because we see like these relationships develop and we get more information, and then all of a sudden like, oh, they all start pulling apart again. So that just kind of, that emotional like, oh, we can see this family and how much they care about each other and how that devolves. It becomes more heartbreaking as the story goes on. But thank you guys for all of your insights. This festival wouldn't be a thing without all of you. Thank you for being the first audience for The Color Out of Space, and hopefully in the future, as this story continues to be developed by Erin, then there will be more and more audiences. But it is very important that we celebrate our new work, and we have one more play in this series written by Emma Howard that we are pajamas. But that will be premiering tomorrow at 7 in the same spot. So we hope that you either stream or you come into the theater. Thank you all again for your incredible work.
Piggyback, just a couple more announcements. So if you didn't pay attention to the lobby display, as you're exiting the theater, it will take on new meaning after experiencing this play. I'm just going to remind everyone again, there are QR codes in that lobby display and also here in our program, so you can get a behind the scenes look at the visuals that our design and dramaturgy team brought into this process as our playwrights and our teams were imagining these worlds in 3 dimensions. It's a lot of really delicious content, so I highly recommend. If you're a student here at UCR, the New Works Festival happens every year, and auditions happen at the end of the winter quarter, as well as opportunities to sign up to be on our dramaturgical teams, to be on our design teams, to be assistant directors, to be a part of this process. So I encourage everyone to get involved. It was pretty fun, right? Yeah. We learned a lot. Thank you so much for supporting new work and emerging writers. We're so grateful. Have a great evening.